Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is Vishumanjipudi, and I'm glad that you are here. Today, we will be solving LeetCode problem number 83. Remove duplicates from sorted list. The problem reads, given a sorted linked list, delete all duplicates such that each element appears only once. So, they give us two examples. So in the first example, the list is 1, 1, 2. Now, we want to remove the duplicates, so we just remove the 1, since there are already two ones. So we just get 1, 2. For the second example, we have a list with two 1s, 1, 2, and two 3s. We want to remove the duplicates, so we'd remove one of the 1s and one of the 3s to get 1, 2, and 3. Now, at first glance, this may seem like a hard problem to tackle, but let's first think of how you'd solve it if you're not a computer program. Well, you'd look at each element, okay? So let's do example number 1. So you start with the first element. It's 1. And since you've never seen that element before, you know that this value is okay and you can keep it in the final linked list. But now, you remember that 1 was already used. And when we check the second one, we see that it was also 1. So the value is used and we can't add that. So when we check the next one, we see that 2 has not been used and we can use that. And to do this, we can just iterate over all of the elements using a recursive method. Okay, so what would we need? Well, we first need a base case, right? So we have if head is equal to null, or head.next is equal to null, since we're planning to use both head and head.next, right? Then return head. And otherwise, since we need to keep the previous value, let's create a new method called tree, okay? And trim. So public list node trim, and then we have list node head int val. And now this will be where recursion actually happens. So here, what do we do? Well, we want to keep the first element of head, so we have head.next is equal to trim head.next, since we want to start from head.next. And now what value do we use? We just use the value of head, so head.val. Alright, so now we finished writing our main method, except we just have to return head. And now it's time for the recursive method. So let's first, once again, check our base case. So we first have if head is equal to null, return null. And now here's the tricky part. You might think we just use the same condition as here, but that's not the case. Because in this condition, where head.next is equal to null, head can still be equal to the previous value. And in that case, we cannot include it. So now we have if head.next equals null, and now we have two cases. Our first case is if head.val is equal to val, in which case we return null, and otherwise we just return head. Okay, so now that we've gotten our base cases done, let's now go to the recursion. So we have two possibilities. So we have if head.val is equal to val. Now in this case, we just skip that element. So you have head is equal to head.next. But before we write down head.next, we notice that head.next is not actually sorted. We need to run trim of head.next to make sure that all the duplicates are removed. So we have trim of head.next. And since head.val is equal to val, we can still use val. And then else. Now what is head equal to? Well, we still want to trim, except now, instead of using val, first we're going to set this to head.next, since we are keeping head in the linked list. Now, we're still going to trim head.next, because that's what we want, But instead of using val, since head.val is not equal to val, we instead use head.val. And now we are done with our recursion, and we can simply return head. So it seems like we're done. Let's just run our code really quickly to make sure it all works. And it indeed works on this test case over here. And so we're ready to submit. And let's see what we got. We got it accepted. So runtime 1 millisecond, faster than 25.5% of submissions, and memory usage 41.5 megabytes, less than 77.73% of submissions. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, as well as click the bell icon. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please post down below or email me at steamaspirations@gmail.com. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and this is Vishnu Manjipudi signing off. Bye!